Emotional detachment is one of the most difficult things to do in any relationship. You've built a bond, right? And you have something going on for you. But sometimes God will require that you emotionally detach from someone because of what He wants to do in your life for your spiritual, mental, and maybe psychological well-being. The sign number one is that your relationship with God is beginning to suffer. When your relationship with God is beginning to suffer because you're in a relationship with someone, that could be a sign that God is asking you to detach yourself emotionally. Anyone that God is bringing into your life as a child of God is supposed to make you better. And if they are not making you better or making your connection to God to get deeper, that could be a sign that God is asking you to detach yourself emotionally. Sign number two is that the relationship is not producing good fruits. Every good tree produces good and excellent fruits. Every child of God should produce seeds that lets people know that they are children of God. So if you notice that this particular relationship is not bringing out good and quality seeds, the kind of seeds that would make God proud and would make heaven rejoice, that could be a sign that God is asking you to emotionally detach from that relationship. Now the third sign is persistent sin without repentance. If you notice that in your relationship, you guys are persistently committing sin and there is no genuine and effective repentance, it could be a sign that God is calling you to emotionally detach yourself. Listen, God has not called us to be slaves to sin. He has let us know that we have victory over the flesh, over sin, and over the works of darkness. So if a relationship is causing you to persistently sin, and not just that you're sinning, you are now comfortable in that sin, it could be a sign that God is calling you to come out and reevaluate that particular relationship. Another sign is this. You've expressed your concerns concerning the weaknesses in that person's life that you've seen, and no change has been effected. Listen, as a child of God, you are not looking for how long somebody prays or how long they pray in tongues. That's not what you should be looking out for. What you should be looking out for in a person's life is how they produce good fruits in their lives. If somebody has a weakness, for example, you should see that this person is taking steps to genuinely come out of that particular weakness. But then you notice that your concerns are not addressed. It means that that could also be a sign that God is calling you to emotionally detach from that relationship. The fifth sign is that this person pulls you away from righteousness, pulls you away from right standing, pulls you away from those things that you've always done that has given you peace, brought you joy, and brought you purpose in life. Listen, the one that God has for you will not pull you out to become unrighteous. That one that God has for you will not consistently and persistently make you doubt the faithfulness and the righteousness of God. See, if you are beginning to walk in the path of unrighteousness due to a relationship, that could be a sign that God is calling you to emotionally detach. Proverbs 27 verse 17. Iron sharpeneth iron. Listen, a good and godly relationship will not make you feel drained and depleted. If you notice that a particular relationship is making you feel drained and depleted, making you feel like you're giving too much, you feel stretched and stressed, that could be a sign that God is asking you to emotionally detach. And this is my conclusion. Detaching from somebody is never easy. It's easier said than done. Yes, I know that. But it is nothing compared to preserving your walk with God. Your walk with God is the most important relationship that you should keep. And every other relationship would always bow to your relationship with God. So if you are in a relationship that seems to have all of these qualities I've spoken about, it might be a time for you to reevaluate and ask the Lord questions. God bless you. Amos 3:3. Can two walk together unless they agree? Listen, no matter how good this person looks or how spiritual they sound, if the both of you do not agree and share similar values, it could be a sign that God is asking you to come out and reevaluate your relationship. If you notice that you are not sharing common values, or there are values you have that seems to be contradicting, and these values mean a lot to you, especially not just to you, but also to God, that could be a sign that God is asking you to come out of that relationship and reevaluate your walk with Him.